Alabama Power's performance for its customers in terms of keeping the power on and getting the power back on when there's been a disaster such as a hurricane or tornado is not an issue here. In fact, I had a tornado come down my street in Mobile on Christmas Day, and Alabama Power raced to get the power back on, and they are, I believe, as a customer for pretty much all my life, an excellent company when it comes to getting the power on, keeping the power on, and hurrying like mad to get the power back on when it goes off, and it does not go off much. And I think they're, quite frankly, their government relations and public relations arm of Alabama Power is corrupt and immoral, and it is my naive hope that this project will lead to a reexamination within the company of how they disseminate information and the lengths that they will go to get their way in Montgomery, because I think it's high time that they ceased doing business like they do and ceased being a bully in Montgomery, and ceased being a bully to people like Terry Dunn. One thing I want to ask you: have we ever met before?
Oh, no.
Never met.
No.
Never even we talked on the phone.
No, never heard of you.
Never heard of me.
No, I never heard. Really.
And you're not paying me. Your campaign's not paying me. Nothing like that.
No.
Okay. Okay. Tell me a little bit, just briefly, your professional career.
Well, I'm a retired general contractor. We've done school additions and that's basically what I did. Retired at 45.
Now, how were you able to retire at 40? You must have been pretty successful.
Well, I invested in rental property. I still have rental property.
So you did well enough as a small businessman to retire at 45?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you've been to the Republican National Convention, haven't you?
3 times.
3 times?
As a delegate. 2 times as a delegate, 1 as an alternate.
Okay. Did you vote for Obama?
Vote for who?
Obama?
Lord, no.
When you ran as a public service commissioner, what is it about, why did you decide to say maybe we should have some rate hearings?
Well, I just done some reading up because I've got interested in running for public service commissioner and seen it that, you know, different rate methods that people, the other states were using, and I seen that Alabama was using RSA, which is, you know, a lot of people in other states that adopted this, but I'd seen that they hadn't had a review in a while.
That Alabama had done.
Alabama hadn't, and well, I think Dave White did a story right before the election, the Birmingham News, and that's what I told him, that I was concerned about the rates, were they fair or not. And so coming in, I was, you know, concerned about the rates.
What have you learned either before then or since becoming in office, how Alabama's methods, its PSC's review methods compared to states' PSCs throughout the country?
Well, most of them have some form of like a RSC, but they all have rate cases every so often to check.
They all do?
Yeah, most of them do. It's just to check and make sure everything's in line still, and then, you know, maybe every 4 or 5 years.
And what is a rate hearing? Is that when they...
Well, it's just when people, it's a trial, basically like a trial, and they ask questions. And
So people with the company have to answer questions
under oath,
and
yeah,
present information under oath about their expenses and costs and things like that.
Yeah.
In Alabama, they don't have to do that.
No, and get more in depth of what's the expenditures are and what's going out.
And Alabama Power does not have to do that.
Well, they do behind closed doors. Like, there's not much transparency in it. You know, our staff may see that. You know,
But the public doesn't get to see any of that. So Alabama Power has come out against having the sort of hearings that you want to have.
Yeah, and the Republican Party is what it stands for is transparency. And
so what you're asking for is not unusual or and in fact, in the utility regulation world, it's completely normal.
Yeah.
So you're just asking that Alabama regulate its utilities as other states do.
Yeah, I mean, you like I said, I think South Carolina's going through a rate case right now, but a lot of them just go through rate cases, every year, every so many years. But I'm not asking to go back into the rate cases. I'm just saying, every 5 or 6 years, have a review, just like a checkup to make sure everything falls in place, or, are in line with what the economy is doing around you.
And Alabama's rate of return, Alabama Power's rate of return that's allowed in Alabama, how does that compare to other utilities in the country?
Well, they're the highest, is what we're saying.
The highest in the country?
Yeah, the average is 10.4.
And Alabama Power's is
13 to 14, 13.5 to 14.5.
So they can receive about a 14% return on their investment, whereas other utilities, other power companies, can only get, say, 10.5 or 11%.
Yeah, it's like South Carolina. I think theirs is 11 point something, 5, I believe. No, they're asking for 11.5. They're 11.1 right now. So they're just trying to get into the 11s. And
so if Alabama had the same, if Alabama's PSC did the same as South Carolina, then the power bills of Alabamians would be lower.
Oh yes.
When you were first elected and you came in office, and I think you were somewhat of a surprise winner over Susan Parker. She was perhaps expected to win. How soon after you were elected did you start saying, I'd like to do this?
Probably about the first week.
First week.
Yeah. Ran it by David.
And what kind of response did you get from other people, your fellow commissioners?
Well,
the
other commissioners, I mean, I never sent, say, the ones I did talk to, they said, no, we don't need to make any waves, just wait and let's see what's going on, and it's too early. But after I got the message out, we had visitors come and kind of say, you just need to leave everything alone, don't make no waves, keep your head down, you can be in here as long as you want to.
Who were some of those visitors?
I would rather not say.
Anybody from Alabama Power?
No. It was just people that associated with them.
Political figures in the state?
Yes.
Can you tell me one or two of those?
Well, I think right now I should.
These are important political leaders in the state, though?
Yeah.
Who told you to keep your head down and just not make waves? Because I guess upsetting Alabama Power is not good for the Republican Party?
Well, I don't know that. I mean, that's just what they come in and kind of insinuated, if I wanted to stay in office, is just kind of forget about that.
Forget about that.
The review.
And what was your response? Apparently, I don't know what you told them, but clearly you did not.
No, I told them that's what I ran on, and that's what I wanted to do, was make sure that the rates was fair. And tried to work out some process where we was going to have an informal, but informal up until we got to the ROE, rate of return on equity, but they never did do that. I don't think we ever got to that point. That was with Alabama Power.
Okay. Let me ask you, were you associated or supported or ran by any environmental groups
No.